Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a chilly Wednesday morning here in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm in my car now and I'm on my way through to our local Lamborghini dealer. That's Lamborghini Johannesburg. I will be taking a Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive out for a drive. The particular car we'll be driving has got the new sport pipes on it, so I'm very excited to see how it sounds. I'm not going to be bringing you a vlog on data and statistics on the car. I'm basically just going to give you an opinion on what I think of the car versus the old 580 and compare it to the 610 I currently own. So I think I have a good understanding of the Huracans, and I'll just give you my opinion, like I say, of the car I'll be driving. And then on Friday morning I've been invited by Scuderia Ferrari to come out to the launch of the new F8. Also I'll be taking that car out for a drive. I'll put together a little vlog on the car and a montage of some pictures and photos for you guys and show you what that's all about. But the big one is next week Wednesday. That is a outride on in the Performante. So Lamborghini Johannesburg have invited a small group of guys together to take out the cars. There's not a launch, as you know, the car's been around for a while. It's just a owner or driver experience, and they're taking a small group of us out to have fun in the cars for the morning. So that I'm super stoked about. It is my favorite Lamborghini and I'm going to get to drive it and enjoy it. So stay tuned guys. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment of what else you'd like to see. Okay guys, so here we've got the new Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive. Have a look, there we go. It's up on horsepower from the previous edition. The previous edition was a 580-2. This is a 610-2, but they've dropped that whole 580-2, 610-4, sorry. And this is now just called the rear-wheel drive. So you'll see it's a smaller wheel. It's a 19-inch wheel with the steel brakes. Very nice. Look at the rear. This car is amazing. So there we go. It's the Akrapovic Lamborghini approved exhaust system. Absolutely stunning. Lovely rear diffuser, just flows. And if you look at the front of this car, you'll see a huge similarity in the front bumper from the old Gallardo Squadra Corsa. So I'll put a picture up of a Squadra Corsa in the link later on. You can have a look. So the similarity is identical. Now can you just imagine that front splitter spec'd in full carbon, how hot it would look. Lovely car this. So there we go. Huracan rear-wheel drive. This is quite a nice color combo with the orange interior and the blue exterior. I really love how Lamborghini have now gone ahead with this touchscreen in the center console. So user friendly, so much easier to use. Fantastic. Only downside for me is that the navigation would be sitting over here instead of on the older model in front of you, so you have to take your eyes off the road to have a look at the nav. But that's not a major train smash. So if I just show you the difference there of the dash now. So there we're in strata mode. We change over to sport. I'm not too sure if you could actually hear the difference in the exhaust tone. And then over to Corsa. It just went even deeper. So let me show you that again. Let me turn off the aircon here. Okay, let's try that again. Have a listen. And now now for Corsa. There's a huge difference between each setting. Welcome back, guys. So we're sitting now in the Lamborghini Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive. This particular model has got the Acropovic racing exhaust option included. So let's go out, take it for a ride and have a listen. I'm sitting here with Jermaine from Lamborghini Johannesburg.
Hi.
So we're just going to chat informally while we do this drive. Like I mentioned earlier, there'll be no stats, no review, no data, just simply taking the car for a drive and having fun. So enjoy it. What I do love about the new models is how they've taken the Performante Corsa clock.
Yes. That looks incredible.
So the downside for me on that, not a downside, is I drive on navigation. We do mountain passes.
Okay.
So obviously you can see if you're left coming or right coming.
Yes.
And now on the Corsa option, you can't see that, so you'll just have to ride with your cradle on.
Or you could, with this, you could just run your navigation in the
Yeah,
center.
look down instead of up.
Absolutely.
No cup holder. It's also a nice little 7,000 Rand extra.
Travel package.
But necessary. How many times have you had a coffee in the car or something you need somewhere to put it?
That's why you have a passenger car.
People don't like to drive with me.
Last time.
Listen to that motor. Obviously the way we're driving, you won't really get to feel the difference between a four-wheel drive and a rear-wheel drive. You've got to either track the car or go mountain pass driving. And then again, I think at our ability, are you really going to feel the difference?
I think so. You know, having driven them back to back, I think that most certainly the rear-wheel drive is a more engaging car. That's the big difference for me. If I were to choose for myself something that I would own, I'd most certainly have the rear-wheel drive over the four-wheel drive, quite honestly. It's just a more engaging, more pure drive experience.
Look, you can also have a lot more fun once you get the hang of it, throwing it into corners, putting it sideways. So the rear-wheel drive doesn't have the drift option that the four-wheel drive has, because you can drift this without the...
Absolutely, but you do want to put it into sort of Corsa or Sport.
Traction off.
Well, you can turn the traction off, ESC off over there.
Would you drift it with traction on?
It will drift. It will drift. It will give you some leeway to drift it before it catches. But when you turn traction off completely, that's when the car sort of goes, you sort it out.
Good luck. So, but on the forward drive option, the drift button, the computer knows when to catch it.
Yeah. So once you're in sport mode, even with traction control on, the computer calculates the angle of the steering wheel. So approach angle, and then obviously it calculates the throttle response, and it assists you to drift in sport mode.
I did notice on one of the cars downstairs that it had a camera in the front.
Yeah, so
what option was that?
that's the telemetry, Lamborghini telemetry, and essentially what the car then does is when you use it for track, you've got two cameras. There's one camera behind the rear view mirror, and there's a camera in between the driver and passenger seats. That camera is kind of looking at your driver inputs on the steering wheel and also on the pedals. Together with the telemetry from the car, you can then download those videos, and it will give you tips and pointers on how to drive better.
Wow. Do you know one thing that I will do in the future when I spec a car?
Yeah.
I'll go for a slider bottom seat. I won't go for electric. And I'll tell you why. Like we spoke earlier, I never spoke. My wife's got my car today.
Yes.
And I know when I get it back tonight, it's going to be all over the show. The seat up, down, forward, angled, tilted. And I cannot handle having to reset the seat. and I haven't got that memory, push 1 for Grant, push 2 for, you know,
Yeah.
Amy. So I've got to come here. And bucket seat has got it's got the slider. So
Yes.
I love that option. So I would definitely do it. I know it's cheaper,
Yes.
but I wouldn't do it for the cost saving. I would do it because it's less hassle.
But I must say, like we were talking earlier, these seats for me, one of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in.
Yeah, these are lovely.
I love them. The humidity.
Okay guys, so we've done the drive in the Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive. Some feedback for you guys on my opinion on that car. Like I said, it wasn't a review for data or spec sheets or anything like that. It was just personally my opinion on what I thought of the car as opposed to the previous editions 580 and my 610. So sadly I never got to drive it in an environment where you could really put the car to its test, like on a racetrack or on a mountain pass or anything like that. But having said that, it's still a lovely car. You know, in Strada you can daily drive it. It's nice and quiet. You can conduct a business call if necessary. You can have a conversation with your passenger. But then the minute you put into sport or Corsa, the car does come alive. You can feel it, you can hear it, especially with that Acropovic pipe that they've had fitted on the car by Lamborghini. The car's lovely. Would I buy one? Most definitely, yes. I think I'd like to drive it again. I'd like to drive it in a situational environment where I would get to feel the rear-wheel drive system as opposed to four-wheel drive that I'm used to. I'd like to see if the steering has more point and go versus the oversteer that I experienced in the 610. Yeah, and then if it doesn't have that and it answers and ticks those boxes, most definitely I'd look at it. You know, I'm torn between the Performante. Obviously, I love that car. I love everything it represents, being the previous Nürburgring lap record holder. I love the look of it. I love the ALA system. I like the raw grunt and the feel, and it's hard and stiff. But having said that, I do a lot of miles in my car. I mean, my current Huracan is sitting on 44,000 kilometers. So whatever I do buy, I've also got to have the comfort as well as the trackability or mountain pass driving, because I do drive the car a lot. You know, we drive to rallies, we're driving constantly in the car. So when you're not pushing it hard, you've got to have the comfort. So the 580, or sorry, the rear-wheel drive does offer that. So it's something to look at. You know, I'm not upgrading right now. I'm going to be upgrading probably towards the middle of next year, and then I'll consider my options. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed today. Thanks a million, Lamborghini Johannesburg, and thank you, Jermaine and Saul, for allowing me the opportunity to drive that car. Really grateful for that opportunity. Thank you so much. And guys, as you can see, our merch is out. Give me a shout out if you're interested, or hang 10 for another week and our shop will be live. I'll send you all the details. Have a